All right, guys. So welcome to week 3 of the You Are a Badass book club. You're getting Synovia and I in like super rare form. She's on day 3 of a detox that's not nice to her, and I am on hour 12 or 13 of a migraine. But we're here. And she managed to look prettier than I did. I look like I'm dying, but it's fine. So we're going to get rolling. We are talking part 3 of You Are a Badass. I loved that some of you had already made some posts about how awesome this section was. I actually didn't get to read it until today, so I didn't know why you guys were so excited. Now I do, because it was a pretty awesome section. So let's start with chapter 10, shall we? All right. So, a show of hands, and because, you guys are all muted except for Snowy and I. Show of hands, who has experienced meditating prior to reading this book? Okay, just one of you. Oh, 2 of you. 3. Awesome. Okay, good. Synovia, have you ever meditated before? Neither. Okay. So, I haven't started yet either, but I downloaded an app because there's an app for that. All right, so I'm going to read what I highlighted, and then Synovia can go over what she highlighted. And some of you who have meditated in the past could hop on and talk. Probably sorry, Rachel, but whatever. So I started on page 86, and I just carried over to 87. So she talks about meditation, and she says when you shut up and meditate within 5 minutes, you start. Okay. Whatever. You get all kinds of. Someone else is. Hold on a second. I'm gonna mute everyone, and then I'll unmute you. Okay. All right. When you shut up and meditate for even 5 minutes, you start to really notice that your thoughts are swirling around in your brain. It's rather illuminating. If you're like most people, the majority of thoughts are as valuable and as interesting as a bunch of 2-year-olds fighting over a sippy cup. The goal is to quiet your mind of the chatter so you can connect to source energy and instead listen to your inner guidance. The vortex of connecting to source energy, which automatically brings us into the present moment, raises our frequency, opens us up to receive unlimited information and ideas, relaxes us, relieves stress, strengthens our intuition and ability to focus, allows us to hear our inner voice more clearly, fills us with light and love, puts us in a good mood, and helps us love ourselves. Okay. So I think it's really important when she talks about how your thoughts kind of swirl around in your mind, because I'll tell you what I do. And most of you know that I'm still figuring out my spiritual thing. So every night when I lay down in bed, I run through, and it's funny, she'll talk about it later about being grateful and gratitude, but I run through all the things that I'm grateful for in my head before bed. So I'm like, thank you for healthy children, for getting us to and from our destination safely, blah, 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 blah. But then, I'm like, thank you for getting us to our destination safely. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, I have to go to the grocery store tomorrow. Or, oh, I have to do this, that, and the other. And then I get back to what I'm grateful for. But it's like my mind never shuts off. So, and I can see some of you nodding along with me. And one of the things that my business coach said, she's like, you have to start a prayer journal, because until you get those thoughts out, you're going to keep getting sidetracked by other thoughts. So I could be like, oh, I'm thankful for my kid. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do something for Jace for school or whatever. So I can't keep my mind on track. So I can see where the meditation would be awesome. I can also see why I haven't done it, because I can't keep my mind quiet to save my life, which is why I need an app to help silence everything out. I know an app will work. Jess and I were actually just talking today about, texting, because that's what we do, about the Power Nap app that I have. And it kind of does, it takes you into a meditative state without actually meditating. So it does help me kind of calm my mind a little bit so that I can catch a 20-minute power nap. So I do like that. And I think that I know Synovia says she doesn't meditate. But when I read all of these things, I could actually kind of see you meditating even if you don't think you're actively meditating, just because of how spiritual you are. Like where it says opens to receive unlimited information and ideas, relaxes us, relieves stress. I think that we may just meditate in a different way. I think we all just kind of picture sitting cross-legged on the floor and oming like you do in yoga or whatever, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. So did anyone try meditating after they read this chapter? Like who had never meditated before? No. Well, you guys are like, no, we are scared. Okay, so I guess everyone's going to have homework to at least try it. So she does.
Once, but I feel like I have ADD, which is never diagnosed with it. So I could not wrap my mind around, you're like, oh, you'll feel the tension, less tension from the forehead, now from the nose, now from the lips. I was too busy focused on, okay, do I open my eyes now, or okay, is it time to stop? Like I couldn't do it. And it was one that Nisi, basically it was the app on the phone. It's supposed to kind of tell you when to close your eyes, when to release this, and you should feel something in the palm of your hands. I couldn't get it. Maybe it kind of takes practice, or maybe I should have been in more of a quiet state. But like I said, I felt like my ADD was kicking in. I'm just looking like, okay, is he done yet? Is it time to stop? So I kind of
first.
Exactly.
I think meditation is like anything else. I think that it takes practice. I don't think that anyone just automatically knows how to shut their mind off. When I do yoga at the gym, one of the things that she used to kind of make you picture something is with every breath, picture this big ball of light that starts at the tip of your toes. And every time you breathe in, it slowly moves up. And I find that if I can focus and imagine that, because I have to put my mind on something. Like I can't just pretend that there's nothing. So with every breath, I pretend that this big ball of light, like she's like, and it moves into your hips and up into your chest. And I can picture that. So for me, I can do that. Sometimes it's how I fall asleep too, because my mind goes crazy when I lay down at night. It's just who I am. It's why I don't sleep. It's also why I don't take my cell phone to bed anymore. But I breathe in and picture that. I don't know. I think it's going to take practice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm mildly ADD too. I think all grown-ups, all mothers are ADD. And 9 times out of 10, there's a kid drawing on my wall, so I can't focus and be quiet while they're awake. So if you're interested in meditating, she does give you lots of tips and tricks on page 88. But did you guys notice that, like, for example, on 89, number 6, she says, if there's something in your life you're working on or through, you can set an intention or ask for help during your meditation practice. I mean, doesn't that just sound like a lot like praying? If it were, for me, I think that maybe you do meditate and you just don't realize it necessarily. And the other thing, and it's kind of funny that Synovia mentioned this, is on page 91, it says, the important thing is that you keep showing up. Even if you're only in the zone for one collective moment out of 30 minutes, you've been sitting there, it will eventually start making a noticeable difference. I think meditation is even more essential now that we have all this technology at our fingertips, and distractions have become a way of life. While I truly believe we are a species are becoming more conscious, I'm amazed by how at the same time our attention spans are rapidly shrinking. I was playing tennis the other day with someone who got a text, pulled his phone out, checked it in the middle of point. It's astonishing that we can still speak in full sentences. I don't know that I necessarily do speak in full sentences half the time. So, like, I could be that person playing tennis and being like, oh, wait.
Yeah.
So I think that it is one of those things you just have to show up for, but I think it's kind of like praying. I mean, I don't think that anyone is born knowing how to necessarily do that. Sometimes it comes through practice and learning what works for you. So I don't know. It seems a lot like praying to me.
It makes sense though. Like I said, even though I've never meditated, but it feels like I can't comprehend, or like I have scatterbrain with it. But then when I'm praying, I know how to kind of tune everything out. So that makes perfect sense when you look at it like that.
I think it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything they want to add or say before we move into the next chapter? Okay, Kim, hold on. Let me unmute you. Kim has a million kids, so if she can meditate, All right, Kim, you're unmuted. Go.
Okay, so I totally relate to the 1,000 thoughts running around in your head. I think my favorite and most successful way to meditate is I actually lay on the floor on my yoga mat just because laying is way more comfortable than sitting. And I picture myself in a round room with a bunch of doors, and every door is a thought. And as a thought, like as I find myself getting distracted, I mentally close that door. And it just goes around in a circle, in a circle, in a circle. Every time a thought enters my head, I close the door. I close the door. And eventually, everything just kind of goes soft white. And then, inevitably, I'm interrupted. But, you know, it works. Oddly enough, it's usually about 13 minutes for me, is however long it lasts.
Okay.
But that's probably one of my favorite, most successful tips, is just close those doors in your head, because God knows shutting the thoughts up is very difficult.
I got a question for you. Just out of curiosity, when you said it's about 13 minutes, did you kind of train yourself to do that, or do something like Amber was suggesting with the app at first?
I think it started when I was actually doing yoga. I would watch a video, and the end, the relaxation part was 13 minutes. Okay. And so I was consistently doing the video. And so, yeah, I probably trained myself just to fit into that time frame.
Okay.
Well, it's practice. Practice will get you there.
Right.
Amy, did you have your hand raised? Okay. Hold on. Let me unmute you.
Are you eating brownies?
They're gluten-free. Does that count?
Well, I don't eat chocolate, so I know.
Yes, I am, because my kids are in bed and I can eat it without one of them wanting my brownie. I ignored them all day, and now I enjoy my brownie because my kid is downstairs eating an apple. All right. Go ahead, Amy.
Okay. So I was going to say, I find it's best to meditate first thing in the morning, right when you wake up, because it's pretty quiet and your mind is really quiet and your body's really peaceful. And if you want to quiet the thoughts, I like to pretend like I'm blowing up a balloon. So you put each thought goes into the balloon, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you just let the balloon go up into the sky. And then you try to bring yourself back and wake up and get ready for your day.
Where do you guys get this stuff? This seems like it's pretty creative with the balloon, the doors. Like, I'm too busy thinking about how to get in the zone. Like, it's pretty awesome. Makes me want to try it now.
You're overthinking it, I bet.
I think so.
I did it in high school, so I learned it a long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah. But there's a great book, Creative Visualization. It's great for beginners.
Sylvia's like, let me write that down. Hold on.
It is an awesome book. I'll find out who it's by, and I'll let you all know. And she also has an app.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I think the app might be free.
Oh, I like it. I'll look at
Creative Visualization.
Thank you.
I love it. And I love it. Like, Sylvia and I are brand new, obviously, to this. Of course. Amy, do you have kids?
Kids?
Mm-hmm. How
old? 19 and 21.
See, she doesn't have toddlers in her bed.
I don't. Yeah.
That's why she's like, it's peaceful and calm.
It is.
My bed. I'm like, I need to meditate before bed when my kids are asleep.
Yeah, it's hard when you have toddlers. You have a couple of years before you'll have peace and quiet.
Thanks for the positivity. Much appreciated. Anyone else have anything else before we move on to the next chapter? Awesome. All right. Okay. Sorry, I just want to look at what I highlighted before I actually talk. I highlighted. Does anyone else's book look like this? Like, I feel like I highlighted everything.
Dang.
I get really excited. I don't know. All right. Chapter 11 is Your Brain is a Bitch. That's why I like her so much. Our thoughts are the most powerful tools that we've got. I think, therefore, I can create awesomeness or horrendousness. But the bottom line is that it's through our thoughts that we can create our realities. To think what you want, let me try that again. To think what you want to think is to think the truth regardless of appearance. Some of these things are a mouthful. And so I think this is important because I remember, like, there are a lot of people, and not necessarily on this call, but there are a lot of people who have a problem picturing good. They're like, well, of course, Amber, Synovia, whoever else can picture good because they've done this, that, and the other. And then she goes into page 94, which is where I hear a lot of backlash from people. So it says, this is where most people dig in their heels and say something like, I'm sitting in my ghetto-ass kitchen eating tuna out of a can with a plastic spoon, and you're telling me this isn't truth? You're telling me that the truth is I'm hanging poolside with the President of the United States? If you truly desire to hang poolside with the President of the United States and are hell-bent in your mind, your actions create it, it's the truth. Have you ever noticed how a bunch of people can go through the same course, let's say a class on how to start your coaching business, they get all the exact same information and tools, but some will come out of there and totally rock it, and others will fall flat on their faces. Even if they all have the same desire to succeed, create beautiful marketing materials, and do similar things, it's the one with the proper mindsets who will succeed. This, I say this all of the time in a different way. In this business, everyone comes in and we all have the exact same tools. And I hear people who are like, well, my sponsor sucks, or this, that, or the other. When I got started in this business, in this industry, I was my sponsor's first ever team member. She had no idea what to do with me. I still did awesome. And this one, Synovia, your upline is local.
I don't have an upline. My upline quit on me.
There you go. That's right. She's gone. Synovia's triple diamond, top 350 earner. She doesn't have an upline. All right. My upline lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 8.5 hours away from me. Top 150 earner, presidential diamond. Your sponsor doesn't dictate your success. So the thing is, we all get the same tools, but it's just a matter of what we do with our tools. And here's the really cool thing. I mean, when Synovia got started, she was at conference last year as an executive, right?
Year before last, 2014.
Yeah. And how long had you been in business before then?
I had just started in September, so I was maybe 3 months in.
Okay, so 3 to 4 months in, she was still sitting at executive, right? And then all of a sudden things started to explode. But when you first get started, maybe your mindset isn't, I'm going to be triple diamond. That's fine. The good news is anyone on this call right now can change that. You still have the same tools. All you have to do is fix your mindset. And that's going to be the really big thing. And she goes into a lot of stuff that I'm actually excited to dig into. So we're going to move on. But I think that the image of the ghetto-ass kitchen is pretty huge because some of you are like, oh yeah, well, is this really my reality? Like, I can't pretend to be presidential diamond when I'm, sleeping in the car or whatever else. So I think it's pretty awesome that she goes in to talk a lot about how we all get the same tools, but it's about mindset. If you did not have this highlighted, you should. Page 95. The moment you have the audacity to start believing in the not yet seen, your reality will begin to shift. The following is hugely important, so please pay very close attention. You have to change your thinking first, and then the evidence appears. Our big mistake is that we do it the other way around. We demand to see the evidence before we believe it to be true. Sorry, I was reading the next page. I think it's really important, and I think that it's important for a million reasons, but I'm not super spiritual, but it's kind of like your faith. You have to believe in the things that you can't see first. Yeah. I mean,
that's exactly what my notes say too. Faith is believing in the unseen.
You have to have the faith to jump first and know that, source energy or God, whatever you're believing, it has your back. Like you have to ask for that stuff first and not just, so you have to jump in with faith. And she talks about that a little bit later too. Your job isn't to know the how, it's to know the what and to be open to discovering and receiving the how. I think, and we've talked about that before, like you don't have to know how it's going to happen. You just need to know what it is. You need to ask for it. You need to pray over it. And you need to think on it and work toward it and know that the how is coming. Okay. I think that's, that's huge. I mean, when you signed up, did you ever initially think, I'm going to be a top 350 earner in triple diamond?
And I tell people that all the time. Like when I started, before my sponsor removed me from Facebook, but that's neither here nor there. When I started, my goal was to make an extra $200 a month. Of course, she showed me the income chart and I saw the commas and everything, but my mindset wasn't there. I was just like, well, how can I get this? There's probably someone, who's years invested into it. But apparently God had other plans. Like you said, I kind of took it and ran with it, didn't make any excuses, and look at where I am now in charting presidential. Like, it still gives me chills to even say that because I'm that girl who only wanted $200 a month. Yeah.
Yep. We were in our VIP group. This girl, they were all talking because some people saw some drops in their check VIP level. And, the girl goes, like, she's like, I lost $5,000 this month. And she's like, and all I wanted was shoes when I signed up. She's like, so guess what? I have all the shoes. I don't care about the $5,000 drop.
Exactly.
And I'm like, all she wanted was shoes, winning. All right. So, it's about having the faith in the stuff that you can't see and just taking the leap. I'm going to let Synovia, I'm going to throw Synovia on the shopping block here because I think this is right in your wheelhouse. I would love for you, and you didn't have to highlight as crazy as I did, but on page 97 where she gives the tried and true ways to show your brain who's driving the bus, if you want to touch base on those things, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Your name all over it.
Like to how far? See, she has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You can make them all in one big group if you want, or you can take them step by step.
That's fine. What I highlighted from there, and I'm going to kind of just jump around. In part 1 is get quiet, get in the zone, and get in touch with the source energy. In part 2, if you want something badly, even if you don't have any evidence that it's possible for you to attain, believe it. It is anyway. Fake it until you make it. I'm kind of just jumping around. Then I'm going to go back to the notes that I wrote on it. Also in part 2, toward the end, put yourself in situations where you will meet people who can make this happen. Part 3, upgrade your environment. If you aspire to have more up-leveled and inspiring lifestyle than you presently have, you're actively visualizing this for yourself. So even though you're going to be thinking and imagining the change before it happens, do what you can to make some upgrades to where you are at now. And as far as that, basically, and like I said, I have to kind of jump in with the spiritual. If you guys want to do it with source energy or universe, fine. But it's kind of like getting in alignment with God, and just trusting, like, not only your faith, but just knowing that prayer works. What else do I have on here? Even when things don't seem doable or you can't possibly see a way, have faith and believe. Believe it like you know it's going to happen anyway. Those positive thoughts will eventually allow you the room where you have no fear and you won't allow doubt to set in. Pretty much that's the enemy always trying to stop us when we have fear and doubt and trying to hold us back. Surround yourself with those people who are doing it, what you want to do, those like-minded people. Basically, like they say, if you hang around 9 successful people, you're going to be the 10th one. Or if you hang around 9 rich friends, 9 out of 10, you're going to be the 10th one. I wholeheartedly believe that. What I took from this also is kind of like to live life, like the life that we've been praying for. Live it as if it's already happened. We got to understand, say you're praying for your promotion or praying for a house or praying for whatever it is. In that your mindset, you kind of got to start believing that it's already come to pass, but be content and thankful for where you are now. So that way, when that time does come, it's like you're working yourself up to it already. You're thanking him before it happens, thanking him, knowing that it's going to happen. It has happened. You're thankful for it. It's this whole chapter here. If I tell you, if I didn't like anything else about this book so far, this area here was it for me with the whole faith part. Like, yeah, it gave me life on it.
I loved this section. I mean, I think one of the things is ask and it is given. I think that's huge. And being bold enough to ask for the things that you want. But what you said about waking up and just being, that's the thing. One of the most pivotal things I remember at a conference, I think it was last year, is Nidra signed up. She was a top earner. She signed up and she was doing whatever. But then she met this girl who was Diamond, and she's like, I rubbed on her arm. I went home. I started waking up and I was Diamond. Like, It didn't matter where I was. I woke up, I was diamond. I did things that diamonds did. And she didn't mean blowing money or anything else. She meant living confidently, working like a diamond works. Like she just woke up and started believing it. And that's why I'm a big believer in the I ams, not the I wants. You know, if you saw my visual or my electronic vision board, it was, I am ambassador. I am driving. I am earning. On my wall, I have, I am enough. I am top, 50. I am ambassador. Like, it's all about the I ams and stating it as though it's already done, and writing it down. I'm a big believer as it's written, it shall be done. So these are huge. So I love this. And surround yourself with people who think. There's this thing going around Facebook right now that says, like, don't hang out with the stills or something, and it says still broke, still negative, still whatever. Stop hanging out with your friends who are still broke and who are always negative. Like, stop hanging out with those people. You don't have time for people to be negative around you all the time. Like, people want to delete us because we're annoying with our work stuff. I want to delete you because you and I think that's lame. So whatever. Choose your annoying, I guess. All right. Does anyone have anything they want to add before we move on to chapter 12? Okay, awesome. Chapter 12, I have on page 103, we only get to be in our bodies for a limited time. Why not celebrate the journey instead of merely riding it out until it's over? We're still allowed to dream, and our dreams are still available to us. But as we move through life, we must make the conscious effort to overcome whatever judgments we have, as well as kick all of our fears from past experiences in our head and participate in our own badassery, whatever that looks like for us. We just must focus on the positive instead of the negatives that we've collected over time, and keep that focus regardless of what flies in our faces. It's one of the best ways to do this by reconnecting with our inner kid. And she goes into talking about her band and being a beginner and having no idea what she was doing. And so she talks a lot about getting in touch with your inner kid. And sometimes we take things so seriously, all right? We take life so super seriously. And I can tell you that there's like nothing that my kids take seriously. So sometimes you can learn a lot from them. She says, just see what you can get away with. One of the best things I ever did was make a motto. I just want to see what I can get away with. It takes all the pressure off and puts the punk rock attitude in and reminds you that life is but a game. I guarantee you there are countless people with way more to whine about than there are you who are totally kicking ass because you decided to go for it instead of sitting around in the wet pant load of your excuses. Lose track of time. When you're so lost in doing what you're doing and you lose track of time, you've officially entered the vortex. First, figure out the things that you get lost in your business and your personal life, and then figure out how you can be doing more of those things. One of my biggest time sucks, one of the things I lose the most time in, and some of you have witnessed this, is coaching calls. There is nothing I love more than coaching people. I don't even know what I'm going to say to you, but next thing I know, I'm telling the next person I'm going to be 5 minutes late because I have overgone. I have to schedule longer coaching times because I literally lose time when I do those things. And so it's funny that she did this because 2 weeks ago, I started actually physically scheduling in about 8 or 10 hours of coaching time into my schedule because that is something that I wholeheartedly enjoy about what I get to do in this business. So find the things, and it's not Facebook, okay? Facebook is not the thing. So if it's talking to people about products, maybe helping them find what's right for them. If it is talking to people about the business, I love three-way calls. I'm really weird. I hate phone calls, but man, I love talking to people about getting started in this business, and I love coaching people. So I'm doing more of that because that makes me happy, okay? The things I'm doing less of is all of the paperwork. I've delegated that out. My husband now does that. He now does our tax crap and that kind of thing. So find what part of this that you enjoy and do it. Okay, because here's the thing. If you don't do the stuff you enjoy, you become the dud. All right. You no longer enjoy your business anymore. It becomes work. I hear people who are like, oh, I'm on my phone too much. I can't do this business. You're on your phone too much because you haven't figured out what you actually enjoy about this business. Okay. So find what you enjoy and what you lose time doing and do it. And I don't remember who posted it in the group this week, but someone posted that one of the things they're doing to have more fun is to start reading again because they lose time doing that in non-business related books. I can tell you that I can pick up a sappy romance novel and lose my whole day.
Yeah.
I love it. So those are things that over the summer I started incorporating back into my day, is being able to read something that's also just for fun. So find those things that you lose time with, and do those fun things. The things that you hate to do, partner up with someone else who's good at it, and you guys can help each other stay focused, whether that's, an accountability partner, whether once a week you meet up for a power hour, all the crap that you don't like to do, find someone to help you stay focused on that. My phone's going crazy. Keep being the beginner. The beginner may be an idiot, but she knows how to party. And if you don't let her play with you anymore, things risk getting rather dull around here. So hone your skills and take your craft seriously, but learn what you need to learn. Invest in yourself. Practice your ass off. Fall down. Get up. Keep going. Get really, 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 really good at what you do, but don't lose the fun in the process. The minute you lose all the fun, you don't do it anymore. You know what? The number one thing people say that because it's not working, and I'm sure that Synovia sees this too. A lot of times people quit because they're not having fun anymore. It's become too serious. It's a business. It's whatever. They've lost the fun. And that's why they're not sticking it out anymore. It's really not because of anything else. They have a million excuses, but 9 times out of 10 is they've lost their flair. I see so many times people are like, I just need to get my fire back. Well, you should have stood close to the fire the whole time, and you wouldn't have lost your fire. So, you have anything to add? I really like it.
I do kind of agree with that, and it kind of takes me back to when I retired from the salon. After 15 years, it wasn't fun anymore. Not saying that 15 years of doing this, I'm not going to enjoy it, but I lost focus. It began to feel like a job. People are like, why'd you leave the salon? You were already a business owner or entrepreneur, but I lost focus with it. Basically, even in the salon, someone else owned my time. If you think about it, my clients owned my time. They said when they wanted to come, when they needed to be out of there, and so forth. But like with this here, like when you were saying you lose time with your coaching calls, I feel like that anytime I'm pouring into someone, I lose time. I've set coaching calls for 30 minutes. We're well into an hour, and I'm messaging the next one, hey, hold on, let's play it by ear. I'll get with you when I can. The trainings that I do with my team, they're supposed to be an hour, no more than an hour and a half. If you've seen any of my posts on social media, they'll be like 3 hours long because once we start getting to me pouring into them, I totally lose track of time. So with that, I agree, and I guess that's why basically running with this, at the end of the day, it doesn't feel like work. I almost feel guilty for what it is that I do because I don't feel like I'm putting in work because I just enjoy what I'm doing just that much.
Well, and I find that, so here's the thing, guys, with this, especially in this industry, but life in general, but in this industry, boredom is a dangerous thing in this industry because the minute someone gets bored and stops having fun here is the minute that they go to another business they think that the grass is greener somewhere else. Okay. When I get bored, I switch focus to people that I don't normally get to work with. I do that because there's always something new somewhere on this team. So it's just a matter of staying excited. Or I'm most known for bringing in fresh blood. When everyone else is boring me, sorry guys, sometimes it happens. There are certain times of years where the whole team just makes me sad. So I just bring in new people. And you know what new people do? They get everyone excited because people who are posting in the groups constantly and they're super excited about what they're doing and where they're going. And that stuff is contagious. So I try to keep new people coming in all the time to keep me excited. Also because I'm red and I'm like, yeah, new loyals, new distributors, like that stuff just makes me excited too. So you have to find those things that keep you excited. All right. The things that you have fun with when things are slow that you're still going to continue to have fun with. All right. Anyone have anything you want to add or say or throw out there? Okay. All right. Chapter 13. these next two chapters were probably my favorites. Actually, they're all my favorite. I really love this book. It's one of the beautiful compensations in this life that no one can sincerely try to help another without helping themselves. Okay. Sorry, I have so much highlighted. I get so excited about all of this stuff. So we're going to move into like gratitude and giving things away. And she tells the story about her niece getting the six pack of Tic Tacs and giving them all to everyone. And she didn't even have any. And she was so excited. And I loved that. Like, my kid will give all of his stuff away to see the excitement on someone else, unless it's giving it to his sister, and then he's not on board. Okay. But if he can give it to like his cousins and stuff, he's so excited. And, you know, I kind of get the same way. Like, my sisters did a stupid Secret Santa. They all decided they were too poor to buy everyone gifts, so they did Secret Santa. Well, I was the asshole who still came in with gifts for everyone because I was so excited. And my sister's like, but you only got one gift. And I'm like, who cares? Like, I got to do all of this stuff. So, you know, it's so important that we give back. And, you know, even with our meetings and doing give backs, people are more excited to come. And I mean, I think this month we're doing like women's stuff. I've never been so excited to buy big boxes of tampons in my life because I get to come and give back. Okay. So it's exciting for me. So giving back is really important, but it also attracts really good things. So she talks about her friend with MS and how they asked her to give things back. And she said, for a while she didn't, and her condition got worse. But then she decided to give it a try. First, she gave a phone call to a sick friend to see how she was doing. Then she steadily gave away something every day, and she almost instantly found herself more joyful in the process. By the 14th day, she was significantly better physically. Her business started booming, and she went on to create a blog that started a movement with tens of thousands of followers that were giving things away daily. If you want to attract good things and feelings into your life, send awesomeness out to everyone around you. Here are some good ways, and then she gives you a whole bunch of things. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to cost you money. Like, that's the really awesome thing. It's just giving kindness, complimenting people. You know, not time hop, but like the on this day thing that Facebook does is one of my favorites, because last year at this time, I think we were doing a bingo or something, and Danny had you guys post on someone's wall that inspired you. And I had all these super nice posts from all of you guys on my walls. I love that. Do you know how many people get excited when I just post on their wall to tell them how awesome they are? And not even because it's me, but because sometimes someone's day just sucks.
Yeah.
And you post on their wall and they're like, oh my gosh, I am awesome. Like, think about how nice it would be if every day when you logged into Facebook, you picked 3 people a day just to tell them they're awesome. Like, you know, people notice that stuff. So just be that person and just give to others. I think that's super important.
It's almost like paying it forward. Like, if you want to receive blessings, you got to be a blessing. And it's funny you say that. We did something with my team, and you're making me think now I need to do it again, where I had them go and basically compliment 3 diamonds. Well, I call everybody on the team diamonds, but just 3 team members. Just pay them a compliment or something that somehow they may inspire them or encourage them or motivate them. And I can't tell you how positive that was. Like, people are like, oh my gosh, you know, I never knew you felt that way. Or, I mean, you would think something so simple is like, it's corny, but people look forward to that type of stuff. Makes you all mushy.
They like, you know what? They work 9 to 5s, 40 hours a week, where their bosses do not go out of their way to tell them how awesome of a job they're doing. Okay, they work and their bosses assume, you know, I had a boss who used to say, you get paid a paycheck. Isn't that enough? Like, isn't that thank you enough for the job you're doing? And I'm like, not really. No. So it is. I mean, I love to show people that I appreciate them, because you guys work really hard for other people and they don't appreciate the work that you're doing. And a lot of times I just appreciate you because you're a ray of sunshine in my feed, or you're funny, or whatever, you know. So pay that kind of stuff forward. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be about money. But I mean, if you're buying Starbucks, you can afford Starbucks. You can afford an extra cup of coffee for the car behind you, right? I mean, there's never anyone behind me at Starbucks, so it never works out in my favor. Okay, but I do at Chick-fil-A, because there's always people behind me at Chick-fil-A. So I just buy lunches. You know, and sometimes we have people who hang out by our Chick-fil-A that are always asking for money or food or whatever. So I just buy extra meals and give them away. The one time Jace thought I gave his lunch away, though, and he cried. And I was like, it was not your lunch. I bought you an extra lunch. And even if it was your lunch, you're not going to starve. You know, so sometimes just doing that kind of stuff is important. And you're showing your kids. I think that's huge. So leading from that, she goes into, I know that Zenobia said earlier the chapter, she had hated it up until then. She loved that chapter. This is probably my absolute favorite. So chapter 14, the quote she uses is from Anthony Robbins. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Okay. I don't know about you, but when someone doesn't say thank you after I've hooked them up, it's as glaring as an omission to me as if they've shown up without their pants on. The universe feels the same way. You cut yourself off from the supply of awesomeness when you are not in a state of gratitude. I think that this is one of the biggest things ever, is being grateful for what you have. So many times people are so negative about what they don't have that they forget to be grateful for what they do have. Conversely, when you show up disappointed or angry or guilty, oblivious, instead of being grateful, you're at a lower frequency and thereby less connected to the source energy and in a less powerful state to manifest good feelings and things and experiences into your life. There are lots of ways to feel good and raise your frequency and to get closer to source energy. But with gratitude, you're actually expending positive energy by sending out thanks, which makes positive energy reflect back to you. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. This makes the manifesting process even more powerful. You are practically powerless without gratitude. Like, I think that's a pretty powerful thing to say. The more consistently you stay in gratitude and focused on which is good, the stronger your connection is to source energy, and the more quickly and effortlessly you are able to manifest that is unseen into your reality. And we'll get back into faith, and I'll just touch base on these two things, and then we'll talk about gratitude. So faith is having the audacity to believe in the not yet seen. Okay, it's a muscle used when you decide to blast out of your comfort zone and transform your life into something that's practically unrecognizable to you in your present reality. Faith smothers your fear of the unknown. Faith allows you to take risks. Faith is the stuff of leap and the net will appear. Faith is your best buddy when you're scared shitless. Yes, it is. Okay, when you think that the world is going to crash down around you and you are scared shitless, faith is your best friend. And you have to be grateful. You know, one of the best things you can do if you're wondering how, like I said, when I lay down at night, I run through all the things I'm grateful for. Sometimes they're the same things. Thankful for, you know, us surviving another day, you know, me getting to spend another day with my children and my family, keeping people healthy and safe. But even if you're grateful for the beautiful weather, or maybe you're grateful for the rain or whatever, write those things down. Prayer journal. If you use this daily paper that Jessica did thing on, every day that I do my list, it has me list 5 things that I'm grateful for. Okay. If it's a really crappy day, sometimes I have to sit on that and pray on it, and that happens. But you know what? You have to start expressing that gratefulness if you want good to keep coming to you. Okay. Stop expecting it, and start being grateful for it.
When she said something about your gratitude and all and connecting to the source energy, it just reminded me, basically, when we're thankful, you know, it again puts us in alignment with God. Like, that's pleasing to him when we're thankful for our situation, regardless of what it is. And basically, again, with what we're filling our cup with. So when we are, I don't like to say content, where it almost sounds like, you know, that doesn't sound like you want more out of life. But when you're comfortable with where you are, you accept the fact of where you are, whether it's in your life or, you know, with your business or whatever, that's pleasing to God, and that's pleasing, or to the universe, you know, to where now more can abundantly be poured out to you because you are grateful for, even not, I don't care how big or how small it is, just us showing appreciation, or like you said, being grateful for that. I too have just started. I've never been one to write stuff like this down. I wouldn't call it a prayer journal because mine has prayers, affirmations, some of everything in it, but every morning I get up, I put the date on there, and I just start writing down things that I'm grateful for, or my affirmations, what I am. Before I go to bed, I'm saying it at night. I was telling my team, they're like, oh my gosh, how are you signing all these people that you keep posting in the group? I've always prayed over my business, but lately I've started thanking him for the things that I'm asking him for. So instead of saying, dear God, please let me sign 3 distributors today, or please let me sign 3 before the week is over, I look at it differently and say, I'm thanking you now for the abundance of distributors, or the increase or overflow that you're going to provide me with today or this week. And it's crazy because I've been able to sign someone every day since the first of the year, since I've changed my mindset with that.
Yep.
So if y'all haven't started doing it, give it a try. I mean, just kind of thank him for the things that you want, and look at it that way, or thank the universe, or whatever, for the things that you want, and just see how things shift for you.
Yep. I think, and she totally talks about thanking ahead of time, because it's already coming, right? You're already asking for it. So just go ahead and be grateful for it, and watch them work. I mean, I think that's the huge thing. Because we are coming up on the family call, we're gonna blow through this next chapter, but I'm gonna put it all into perspective for you really quickly. Chapter 15, forgiveness means giving up all hope for a better past. Okay. So, I know Laura had talked about this and how she holds so much resentment towards her mother-in-law and all of that kind of stuff. And, I think it's important because it's okay that we do that. Okay. It's okay to be resentful, but you have to move past that, and you have to let go of that kind of stuff. And so here's how I'm going to put it into perspective for you really quickly. And this is going to be a blunt. Okay. So people have done you wrong in the past, right? It happens to all of us. Like, we all have someone who has done something really terrible. Okay. I went to the Michael Burnoff core conference, or core strength. Yeah. And he got a woman on stage. She told her story. She told this horrific story about her stepfather raping her when she was a teenager. Okay, horrific. Like, some of the worst stuff I've ever seen. And he goes, so you replay that every single day, right? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, man, you're really showing him by letting him rape you still. Even today, he's not even around. He goes, so every day you wake up and you rape yourself, and you've decided that that's the life you're going to live. And so we live in this world where people have done us wrong, and we wake up and we let them keep doing us wrong. We let them dictate where we're going. And that really sucks. They should not have that kind of control. It was bad enough that the situation happened to you to start with, but the fact that you let it continue to hurt you is no longer about them. You're hurting yourself. Okay. So they're not hurting you anymore, but you're going to continue to do it to yourself. So you have to let that kind of stuff not even just go. You just have to stop reliving it over and over and over again. And she talks about how, lugging around guilt and shame and resentment is the big snooze running the show. Pitching a fit, demanding to be right and seen, your higher self. You have to decide to move on. She says the moment you decide to forgive and let your negative feelings melt away, you are on the road to freedom. Okay? So you just have to do that. And so this is my favorite part, because we could have a whole another call about all the crap that we've all had done wrong to us, and most of us have no idea the lives that some of us have lived. Okay? But this is where it's important. Forgiving isn't about being nice to them. It's about being nice to yourself. Okay? Forgiving is not about being nice to them. It's about being nice to yourself. Okay? It's about putting you first and not letting other people, you shouldn't put other people first. Okay? So find compassion for yourself. Erase that other person from the equation. Decide you'd rather be happy than right, and look at it from all angles. Have a total shit fit. That's my favorite. Have a total shit fit if you have to. Go hit something that won't hurt you. Go yell, scream, whatever. Get it out, and then move on. Remember that you won't even remember this years and years and years down the road, and forget about it. Once you've truly forgiven someone, wipe the slate clean. So often we form judgments about people, and then no matter what they do, we see them through the lens of judgment, which means we're just waiting for them to piss us off again, which means we're still in the forgiveness light stage. We're pretending we're cool, but we're really still holding on to some resentment. Release all expectations, let everyone off the hook, treat people as a blank slate over and over again, and expect only the best from them, regardless of what they've done in the past, and you may be surprised. What you focus on, you create more of. And if you're expecting people to annoy you, they will not let you down. focus on their finer points and encourage their good behavior. I'm going to tie this into children. If we think they're going to be really bad and they've been bad and we focus on that, what are they? They're bad. They're bad. You're asking for that. If I wake up and I told Jess this the other day, I'm like, my kids could wake up and I immediately know the day has gone to shit. Like, I already know the whole day is going to suck. But if I focused on, E woke up and maybe she was smiling for like a minute. If I focused on her good things, my husband told me, he's like, they have made me crazy all day. And I'm like, that's because you have said all day that they're pissing you off. They're going to keep pissing you off. I said, so don't blame them. That's on you. And he was like, well, that's a shitty thing to say. And I'm like, but it's true. So at some point you have to take responsibility for that and not let other people do that. You have to kind of give them the benefit of the doubt. Regardless of the past, because it's better for you, right? Forgiveness is about you, not about them. So anything you want to add? We have 3 minutes before family call.
If I added anything to that, it would be don't hold grudges. I used to be guilty of that yourself. It only hurts you in the long run. And I've learned that when we hold grudges, we're blocking our blessings in times, and I've forgiven everybody who has done me wrong, but it feels like, not only has a weight been lifted off my shoulders, but every door of opportunity or everything I've prayed for is coming in increase, because I've truly wished them well. Like, don't hold on to it. It consumes you. It's not a good feeling. Let go and let God.
And it's true. I mean, I've had a lot of issues with that on this day crap, seeing what happened to me a year, 2, 3 years ago. And like, now I can look at it and I'm like, I'm not even mad.
Right.
I don't even have the energy to be mad about how I was treated a few years ago because I'm doing okay. But the minute I shut that off is when we went double, triple, and beyond. You have, you can't focus on the negative all the time. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys hop off for the family call, but I'm gonna make a post in the book club group so if anyone didn't get to say anything, they can, and we can chat about it there. This coming week, we're doing part 4, which is, I think it's a pretty good chapter section. It's page 135, so chapter 17 through chapter 22. It's about 60 pages, so don't do what I did and start today. Start reading it now. And I will see you guys next week, all right? And I'll get this put up on YouTube as soon as possible.